We're recording now. It says recording. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Magic Money class. I'm super excited to have you here live, or if you are joining with us in the future, watching the replay, I'm super excited to get into this class. These are all things that I have personally implemented in my own life that have been very beneficial. So they are all tried and true in my own personal experience and things that I share with my clients. And so I wanted to put them all together in one place so that you would have embodiment exercises that you can take with you and try out and see what your results are. And I wanted to make it a very fun and whimsical experience as well, because sometimes when we're talking about money, that can bring on a lot of stress and anxiety if we have money wounds, we've just had negative experiences. So it's really important not only for us as adults, but also for our inner children, where a lot of those things first began from programming and conditioning and certain ways that we grow up, for them to have fun and for them to feel magical with experiencing money, because oftentimes that's where you're going to see the most forward movement is going to the root of where things first began. We're not going to be talking a whole bunch of trauma stuff, but so I know sometimes that can be really beneficial of doing shadow work around money. I've done multitudes of classes and workshops on that previously. Sometimes it's good to just create forward movement though and say, I know I got that stuff going on. What are we going to do about it? And can we do it in a way that's very lighthearted and fun and joyous? Because that's how we want money to feel anyway. So that's the vibe of this class. It is geared towards you as an adult, but it's also for your inner children so that they can feel liberated and excited when they're thinking about money. So that's kind of the intentionality that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen so we can see these slides. And I've got a bunch of fun pictures on there as well, because it helps with the symbolism and the interpretations of the medicine and messages coming through. Okay. And if y'all will kindly let me know, can you see my screen before we get into it? Perfect. Okay. Just want to double check and make sure. Okay, so welcome. If it is your first time meeting me, my name is Sage. I am a creative mentor and energy healer. I'm very passionate about helping light workers and everybody really in general just feel more abundant and wealthy and prosperous in their life, whether that means with money or your relationships or your career or manifestations, whatever dream life that you are calling in. I love supporting you and getting there in ways that are very whimsical and magical. So hence why we are gathered here today. So some intentions that we can set with one another from this class. Not only is this informational, but it's also an activation. It's to move through things that are in your subconscious and your psyche, to clear them so that we have a path moving forward where we just feel, again, more abundant overall, whether that's specifically money or other manifestations, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and where we're pointing our energy, attention, and focus. So the intention together is amplified when there's multitudes of us working on the same thing. And so I want you to think about just an amount of money that you could receive in the next 24 hours. It could be $1, it could be $100, it could be $1,000, it could be $50,000. Okay. We are going to stay open to receiving that in the next 24 hours. This is our activation. We're going to ask it to come through in whimsical and magical ways. And we don't have to get really caught up on the amount, because everybody's in different chapters of their life and different manifestation skills. Just being open to receiving in a way that maybe you haven't seen before. Because a lot of times when we're thinking about bringing money in, it's through our job or our investments or 401k, whatever, retirement, whatever that is. But there are literally billions of different timeline potentialities for it to find its way to you. And so that's why we are going to set that intention with one another of, hey, we all came together to amplify each other's intentions of receiving money in whimsical ways within the next 24 hours. And I would absolutely love to hear how it comes through for you. If you want to send me an email at magicwithsage@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on social medias. I'm super excited to hear how it's going to come through for you. Okay, before we get into our embodiment exercises, we're going to do a disclaimer. You do not have to do any of these activities. They are non-conditional. That's how we need to be viewing our blessings. Even blessings sometimes can be a word that can be out of alignment, because blessings sometimes, depending on where your mindset is, refers to I did this, so I get this. Right? When one of the general topics that we're going to be talking about today is money is coming from you. Okay, blessings and opportunities and experience are coming from you, instead of thinking that it's some external force. And so what I don't want us to take away from this is, oh, I have to do all these things that Sage said in order to receive said money. Okay. We're getting away from that type of manifesting of like, oh, I have to do this very specific ritual in this very specific way. Everyone is so different and unique and interprets information in a multitude of ways. These are activities to help you feel more abundant through your 3D experiences. Like, it's very easy to feel prosperous when you're sitting down in meditation for 10 minutes and intentionally doing that work and bringing your awareness to being abundant. But we all know when you're going through the 3D, there's a lot of variables that are happening at your job, with your kids, with your bills, and all these different things. These activities are to support you in remembering how abundant you are. Do you have to do them in order to receive? No. These are all things that I still implement into my life. And when I am experiencing kind of sluggish seasons with movement, these help keep me on track, but they aren't a requirement, if that makes sense. No manifestation rituals are. Okay. It's you figuring out what helps remind me that I already have access to infinite wealth within me. But we're not doing things to get things, right? We are remembering that it's already within us. So non-conditional blessings. What I like to say, it doesn't matter how I feel, I always get what I receive. Or what I always get what I ask for. I always get what I desire. It doesn't matter how I feel. Because a lot of times we're worried that if we're sad or angry or frustrated, or if we're experiencing lack mentality, that we're not going to get our manifestation. And that's getting into some self-worth and low self-concept and making things conditional of like, yeah, who's to say how happy you have to be? Right? Or how much at peace. This is more getting us in alignment with, I get what I ask for irregardless, because I'm the creator of my reality, and that's the way that I have set up my rules in my paradigm. But these things help me feel good, and it feels good to feel good. We're going to receive irregardless, but these are fun ways to help me feel in alignment. Okay, I'm going to check our chat here just in case. Okay. Great. Okay, everybody vibing. Okay, I just want to make sure our inner children don't walk away and say, Sage, should I have to do this? No, these are just fun activities that help us feel abundant. Okay. What are embodiment exercises? That's what we're going to be doing in our time together today. Embodiment exercises are practices that bring awareness out of the mind and into your body, using breath, movement, sound, sensation to connect with your emotions and your energy fields. Thinking is logical and analytical. That's in your mind or your mental field. This helps you clarify your vision, plan your steps, and make aligned decisions. We love. Okay, I'm a planner. I love having a to-do list. I'm a very structured and motivated person. However, that will only take you so far. We also need embodiment. This is heart-centered and emotional, helping you feel manifestation frequencies. Okay, so excuse me. You can think about having a very healthy body all the live long day. And that will take you very far, okay? Because you can speak to your cells, you can speak to your DNA, you can really make some effective changes with just your mind. However, actually doing physical exercise is only going to amplify that immensely, okay? Eating healthy food, drinking a lot of water, things that are actually here on the physical plane. That's what an embodiment exercise is in your body, not just up here in your brain. And this is where a lot of people get stuck when they're manifesting and specifically manifesting money because we're trying to think our way there, which that's great with financial planning and all these different things. However, we need to also feel our way there. What are the feelings that come up when we think about money? They go hand in hand with one another. Neither of them are more important than the other, but embodiment exercises are the things that are going to see you through when your mind is going 90 miles per hour and we're catastrophizing and thinking of worst case scenarios. It can be very difficult to get out of that mind space. Embodiment exercises bring you back to your soul. They bring you back to the truth of who you are, your multidimensionality outside of just this human experience. That is what can help snap you out of that. And so that's why I wanted to share them today, because it has been the most effective tool for me of I'm not going to think my way out of financial insecurity. I literally have to go in there and feel it out with myself and my inner children. And that's usually what creates the most forward movement. Like, and everybody experiences this on some level. It doesn't matter what financial place you are in your life, whether it is in a lower income, a higher income, everybody's got things going on and can improve and grow and evolve. So that's something else I want to say too. It's not just you if you're experiencing a lot of that. Every stage of growth, you're going to experience some type of challenge or mindset work, shadow work, energy healing that can be done to help you get to that next level identity. Okay, and I don't want to make it sound like it's going to be this arduous thing in hardcore every single time, but we all know how the spiritual journey works. And we go through chapters where we're doing super great, and then we kind of hit the slump or the void or the hermit mode, as we like to call it in the spiritual realms. Embodiment exercises are the things that will help see you through those phases when thinking is not always the thing that's going to get you there. Okay, so when we were thinking about money, a lot of times people get stuck on that because of money wounds that they have been carrying from society, culture, religion, capitalism, the government, you name it. Okay, what your parents or your teachers have taught you. So even the word money can be a little triggering. I'm going to see if I can hide my little bar here really quick. One moment. Oh, I just hid myself. Okay. Thank y'all for bearing with me. There we go. Okay. And so even the word money can be a little triggering if you're still working through a lot of trauma or a wounding around it. So instead of hyper focusing on money itself, what are we trying to get out of it? Like, what are we asking to exchange it for? Sometimes that can really lighten things up because ultimately that's what we're trying to do anyway. It's not really the money that we're after or seeking, it's what that money is going to provide for us, that resource is going to provide for us. So, is it a new car, a new house? Is it having a refrigerator full of food? Is it your gas tank always being full? Is your bills always being paid? Are you going on vacations or getting a new wardrobe or makeup? When you start thinking about those things, now we're going in a forward momentum track. If we're looking just at money, a lot of lack and insecurity there sometimes. Well, let's shift our awareness to what am I calling in and how can I get really excited about that instead? and take the detachment off of you having to pay for it with cash in your hand, because it can come to you in so many different ways. It may not be you using your credit card, okay, or handing over cash. And I'm going to give you an example. So, an affirmation that I have been saying over myself is I have an iconic wardrobe. I have an iconic wardrobe. I've been getting really into fashion. I want to do a complete overhaul of everything that I have. But we all know it's a big investment, right? For a whole new wardrobe. Well, instead of focusing on the money, because that was stressing me out, I'm going to focus on having an iconic wardrobe and however that wants to come to me. Okay. This morning, I'm on a walk with my dogs and I find this ring on the ground. And I picked it up, put it on, I'm wearing it now. And I said, oh, see, that is a representative of how iconic fashion pieces are finding me. I didn't have to go out and look for it. And it's one that I would buy anyway. Like, I really like this ring, and it's cash still coming to me. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, how sometimes cash is infused into something instead of it just being in your hand or a number in your bank account. So not only did I get a new ring, how much is this ring, right? It's infused with the money that I was originally seeking, but I didn't have to spend anything to receive it. And so this is where we're talking about opening up the quantum potentialities of things coming to you. Something I love to do is listen to other people's manifestation stories, specifically with money, because there's just so many ways that it can come to you, and you can be gifted a whole house. You can be gifted a whole car. I had a van and it broke down one time. Okay, it was a whole thing. It broke down and I was so upset. I was crying. I was a single mom. I had no way to buy another car, like financially. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stay open to receiving a new car in whatever way that it wants to come to me. And somebody gifted me a $6,000 car. They say, hey, I know your car got messed up. I want to give you this one. So you'd be surprised at how things can find their way to you if you stay open to focusing on what it is that I want to receive, that it doesn't always have to be cash paid for it. Okay. We're going to do our magic money activation with one another. So I'm going to stop sharing our screen really quick here. Oop. Where's my little bar? There we go. Okay, so before we got on the class today, this morning, I went into the ethers, into the astral, and was asking everybody's higher self to come forward and do a channeled message with one another that is going to be specific to the group and help us create the most forward movement before we start getting into the embodiment exercises. So this looks like me connecting with everyone and saying, hey, can everyone come together and merge as one so I can have a easier conversation and transcribe everything. And then I wrote it all down. We're going to go through it together. So there's going to be a lot of symbolism, interpretation that comes through. So if you're a visual girly, you can close your eyes and listen. If you want to go through a visual experience, that's not necessary though. I don't see images in my mind's eye. I feel images instead. So however that you want to listen is totally okay. So when I went to your energy field, we were on a pirate ship, okay, out in the sea. And I asked you what we were doing, and you said, we're looking for treasure, looking for treasure. And when you were looking through a telescope like this, you know how pirates do? And I said, well, what direction do we want to head in? Because we were just out on this big open sea. It could pretty much go anywhere. And while you were looking through your telescope, you said, I see an island with a lush green canopy. So giving very much abundance, abundant energy. And you said, onward we go. So we're steering the ship to go to this island. And when we pull up to the beach, we dock our pirate ship and we put the anchor out, okay, to kind of ground us into the moment and the information we're about to receive. So we're walking across this beach, and there is this tropical jungle, if you will, where the canopy is, and we're going to walk into it. However, when we start going in there, there's a lot of briars, like sticky bushes, and overgrown foliage, and we were having a difficult time going in. And at first you said, oh, we can just hack it like with a machete. And then you stopped yourself and said, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to hurt the sweet baby plants. Okay, he said, I can use my magic and just move them gently out of the way. And I said, that sounds like a better plan. Because we're in the ethers. You can do, pretty much whatever you want. So we're sitting here, moving and clearing this path. And as we're walking deeper into the jungle, we come up to a temple. And the temple kind of looks like an Aztec flair. There's a lot of, what are those things called? Engravings in the walls and statues, like animal statues. And so we're walking into this temple, and there are two torches, one on each side, because it's very dark in there. We cannot see anything. So you take one and I take one, and we light the torch so we can illuminate our path. And then we see 5 corridors out in front of us. And I said, okay, it's giving very Indiana Jones. Like we're about to go on an archaeology discovery moment. And so we have these 5 doors or doorways that you can walk through. We cannot see what is in the doorways because it is still very dark. And hold on, get my notes here. I said, it looks like we are in a maze. And this is representative of going deeper into your subconscious and your psyche or your Akashic records to see what is going on with our money, mindset, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and why it's dark, because we're having to search for what we're looking for, the answers. And you looked at me and said, what if we pick the wrong one? Because, there's 5 options. You said there could be, or they could be full of booby traps that are going to get us. I said, what? And I said, what if it leads us to the same place? What if we go down any of the pathways and it all leads to the same area? I said, your awareness chooses the layout, much like a video game where you can choose easy or hard. So if anybody's played video games before, at the very beginning, most games, they say easy, medium, or difficult. So if you pick the easy mode, the layout of the video game or the characters or the challenges shift. Or if you pick the hard one, it's going to shift to make it more challenging, right? And so I said, this is what's known as the observer effect. If you have heard that in the quantum manifestation spheres or quantum physics, the observer effect. I'm going to explain what that is. If you see all of these potential paths laid out in front of you in the quantum field, and you assume that they are going to be riddled with challenges, and let's say there's a 1 in 5 chance that you find an easy path, that is what's going to happen. That is your reality experience. So if you're like, oh, danger, 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 everything going wrong, catastrophizing, negative what ifs, and maybe this one-off chance, it's an easy experience, that's what we're going to get. That's picking a video game mode of life on difficulty level of hard and arduous. But if you observe that all paths are going to get you to where you want to go easily and with little effort, okay, effortless. They may all look different, the paths that you go down, okay, the different experiences in life. That's the experience that you're going to have. If you say, you know what, there's a lot of people that are in the world that are choosing the hard level. And maybe that is what you have experienced. Okay, you may have experienced challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge, but where is that coming from? Why did that happen to begin with? It's not because of your own doing. You are a soul that is coming in like clear of trauma and all of these things. But what happens is we incarnate into a world where there's a lot of oppressive systems. There's a lot of trauma, specifically around money. Our parents and teachers are teaching us things, or the government, or capitalism, or society, or religion, right? So we're imprinting all of those things on us, but that doesn't mean that you have to continuously play by those rules. You can pick a whole new set for the paradigm that you're living in. So I'm going to give you an example of this. So somebody the other day told me life is full of disappointments. And I was like, that's for you over there. Okay, like, not for me. Okay, I do not subscribe to that, but that's a real reality for them. And that used to be a real reality for me too. Like I was fully saturated in life is full of disappointments. Or you could have a person over here that says life is full of abundance and blessings and opportunities and whimsical experiences. And what reality is each one of those persons going to experience? Whatever they are coding into their video game of life. Okay. The key here is to have an awareness of that's what's happening. Because if you have an awareness, then you can make a different choice. So this is not saying that all of those challenges are your faults, because they're not. But those are the schematics that we have been running. And we can see that as a, yes, confirmation bias. Yes, yes, yes. Right. That is schematics that we have been running as a collective, because if everybody is abundant and wealthy, then there's not all of these people up on top, right? There's not this big disparity. Now, that's the trap that we can get into of saying, like, well, all these people up here are evil, and don't worry about what they're doing. He's like, don't, like, we have an awareness of that's the system that's been running, but that doesn't have to be for you. So we don't even have to entertain that. We focus on what's going on in our paradigm. Just like I did with that person who said, life's full of disappointments. Not for me. I don't subscribe to that. That's not my reality. And I don't live that experience anymore. I know what it feels like to be in that reality though, and feel like you're trapped or not even know you're in it, right? But through self-awareness work and healing and learning and growing and evolving on my spiritual, journey, I've moved myself into the reality paradigm of I'm chilling. Everything's working over here, but that's an active choice that I have to make every single day. I want to say that to everybody in here. I'm not above any of this. Like I go through the same exact fears and anxieties and imposter syndrome and it's everything that everybody else is doing, but I know what it is. I see it for what it is. And I have to make a different choice. Is it always easy to make a different choice? No. Okay, that's where embodiment exercises come in, which we're going to be doing with one another, because everybody can feel like they're in the void, okay? But we do need to see that this is what's happening in order to move outside of it. So that's what this activation is helping with here. So you looked at me and said, so the challenges that I have been living, if you have been, are self-imposed because we believe that they're going to be there. And I said, yes, that is what we have been taught or what we have experienced thus far. I said, but you know that you have the awareness now to change the rules or to change the layout of the video game and choose easy mode. Just because everybody else is experiencing this over here doesn't mean that I need to. Before I move to this next part too, what's really important, I used to live in a paradigm where I assumed that people could not afford my services or just afford anything in life. And when I sat down with myself, I said, I don't want that for other people. I don't want to be projecting that onto people in the collective. I need to be running a paradigm where everybody in the world is abundant and thriving. Like I really need to be speaking that over like everyone in my experience, because everyone is you and you are everyone. And so we can get real trapped up in like what we're hearing from social media of people saying like, I'm broke, like the economy is tanking, like all of these things, which that's a true, real reality that you can be experiencing. Or we can stop entertaining and consuming that and move everyone into a reality where we're all thriving and abundant, right? So when that person was saying to me, like, life is full of disappointments, I have to reiterate back in my mind of that's not for me. And I want you to move over here with me. Like, I'm not going to leave that person over here in disappointment land in my mind. Okay. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they don't understand those concepts yet, but I can move us all over here. Okay. If I have that awareness in my own mind, because everybody's living in their own reality bubbles. So I want to say that just in case. We don't want to focus on what we don't want, like the top 1% and evil stuff and paradigms that we don't want to live in. Just focus on what I want to see. Period. So let's see. Oh, my next page. I said you assumed that we needed to go on a treasure hunt. That is why we began on the pirate ship and saying, like, hey, I can feel this money that is out here waiting on me. How do I get to it? Okay, which is a beautiful intention. Okay, we know that we have all of this abundance. You just need a clear path on how to receive it. And I said, well, what would you like to assume instead? Now that we have this awareness of the video game and making different choices. And you said, I had the treasure all along. So instead of us having to go even deeper into your subconscious and your psyche, going into the temple and doing all of this shadow work and trauma healing and all these different things, which that's beneficial in certain chapters of our life. I'm like, what's the easiest route? Okay, because that's a general concept that we're doing with this activation. What is the easiest and most effortless route? And you said, I already have it. I said, bet. So we walk back to the pirate ship and we go down into the like crew area, you know, where they like hang out in the bottom. And it was overflowing with gold doubloons and gems and crystals and money. That's a representative of we only had to go a little bit down into your psyche and subconscious. Like all we needed to do was illuminate what was happening with the structural systems, and all of a sudden it appears. You had it the entire time, but you weren't aware of it because of all those things that we talked about previously of like, oh, well, I'm experiencing all these challenges or I've had them in the past, and then that's what's going to project into my future because everybody's experiencing this. Actually, we're just going to step outside of that and see it for what it is and then recalibrate so that you see that it's already within you and it's not something that you're trying to manifest. It's something that you need to learn to express through yourself, which is the embodiment exercises that we're going to be doing today. All right, so we are about the halfway mark. So we're going to take a couple minutes break, like 3-minute break to get up, go to the bathroom, drink some water, move our body before we start getting into our fun activities with one another. Okay, so I want to read someone's comment that I absolutely loved. What if the stories that are like this are just trying to teach us this lesson that the stories of the treasure chest doesn't exist where X marks the spot, and the journey along the way was the treasure, which is trying to teach us this very lesson of we just express the treasure, which I agree with. It's all about coming home to yourself. There are a lot of us that have been through multitudes of incarnations where we have broken out of internal matrices. Okay, because when we say matrix, sometimes that can feel very oppressive of like, oh, there's these people running all these schemes trying to get us. Again, we're not worrying about that. We are focused on what's going on with us and clearing out things internally and focusing on sovereignty and empowerment. So these are lessons in coming back to our personal truths. And that is why you were here in this class, because you resonated with breaking out of those internal matrices so you can teach others. Y'all are ready to be mentors, teachers, and guides. Hey, I know what this is. I see it. I understand it. Let me help you too. Because everybody's at different chapters with that. Some people are very inundated with that, and some people are ready to have this very big breakout moment. And so you're on the other side of it, obviously, because you were in this class. We were talking about these concepts. So you are one of those teachers because you have been through this multitudes of times, multitudes of incarnations. So congratulations. Being one of those people. Okay, we're going to get back to our slideshow here. Oop. Okay, we're going to talk about the frequencies underneath money. And I'm going to hide my little bar here. Okay. Frequencies underneath money. Much like we talked about, if we're focusing on money, that can bring a lot of stress and anxiety. And that's an testament to working on our relationship with the word money, the energetics of money. But in the meantime, like we talked about before, can we focus on the manifestations that we're calling in and not getting excited about one day having them, experiencing them right now, because time is not linear. Okay. And the more that you can get excited about already receiving something like, oh my gosh, I love my new car. How absolutely amazing. I love my new house. I love my new wardrobe. It's so amazing. It's so wonderful. This is an expression of me. That's going to attract it at an accelerated rate because your subconscious and your psyche does not know the difference between something that's happening in the external world and something that's happening in your internal world. So really what we're doing is pretending. Manifesting is just pretending. And just pretending until it solidifies into matter. A lot of us are having negative circumstances in our life because of the stories and the narratives that we are running in our mind. And then it turns into an actualized manifestation. So even if you didn't know about manifesting in the earlier chapters of your life, you're still doing it. We're placing so much energy and attention and awareness on what we don't want to happen, well, then you birth it, you create it. And so the same thing applies with positive manifestations. You really just have to script a new reality from your mind over and over again. And it has to happen, just like the negative ones did. But as humanity, we are programmed to focus on the negatives. Life is full of disappointment. Money doesn't grow on trees. The economy is taking. Nobody can afford these things. That's a true paradigm if that's the one you want to live in. You have got to all day. Hey, I don't want to say you've got to, right? Because we got to do what works for us. You got to catch the liminal thoughts when we're not meditating. Like you're going to be thinking thoughts irregardless all day long, especially for my neurodivergent girlies. It's just a million thoughts throughout the day. Make them, excuse me, make them conscious thoughts. Think about your manifestations. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm experiencing XYZ and this and this and this and this. I do that all day long. I would be thinking about daydreaming, imagining it into existence. But I actually have to override my negative thoughts because I get it. It's very easy to slip into negativity, especially if you're getting blasted in the face from social media or people in your 3D life. But again, that's a paradigm. We've got to say everybody around me is happy and thriving and healthy and joyous and abundant and whimsical and magical. Like pull everyone into that reality sphere with you. But a lot of this is conscious thoughts bringing things into existence instead of things just running on autopilot negatively. So we're talking about the things that we want to bring in with the money. What feelings or emotions are under those manifestations? Okay, because that's actually what we're after. So are the manifestations your car, house, fridge full of food, your gas, your bills paid, how is that going to make you feel? Is it going to help you feel safe and secure, at peace, expansive, joyful, vibrant, fun, adventurous, creative, exciting, magical? If we can find where we are already experiencing that in life, it is going to re-encode your entire reality, not just for that manifestation or the money, for every single area of your life. This is where coaches talk about being in gratitude and being appreciative. If we focus our energy on awareness on how can I experience more peace in every area of my life, it raises the entire bar of your reality instead of just this one hyper specific manifestation. Okay, this is where we have a complete identity shift. So when I am experiencing self-limiting beliefs or lack and insecurity from money, I say, what am I wanting the money for? Okay, we're going to go up the ladder. What am I wanting the money for? I want an iconic wardrobe. Okay, how is that wardrobe going to make me feel? Oh, it's going to help me feel creative and playful and expansive. Okay, where am I already experiencing that? Oh, I'm putting together this really fun class where I'm putting all these little pictures and cartoons and talking about all these fun ways to manifest. I'm laughing, having fun with my son or playing with my dogs or doing an art project. Now we're taking the focus off of lack and insecurity and saying, I am already a playful person. I'm already a creative person. I'm already an expansive person. Otherwise, I wouldn't have these other things in my life. So you're giving your subconscious and psyche evidence of I'm already them. This person that I have been working towards to get this money, to get these manifestations, I am already them. I am already experiencing the feelings and emotions that those things are going to bring to me. And if I pay attention and energy and awareness to the frequencies and emotions and where I'm already getting those, the reality mirror has to give me more of it. If you're focused on lack and insecurity from the money, you're just going to get more of it. So we've got to figure out, why do I want the money? What is that manifestation going to help me feel like? Where am I already experiencing it? That instantaneously shifts me out of negative what ifs and catastrophizing. It's like, why would I be focused on not having something when I already have the feelings and the emotions? And 9 times out of 10, that's what accelerates my manifestations to come in, is taking my awareness off of what I don't have. Because the fact of the matter is, I already have it. I'm just so focused on this 3D thing over here where I'm missing out. Hey, look how grateful and abundant I am over here for feeling fun in these other areas, or feeling vibrant, or feeling safe and secure. Like, it really can make a difference in quick shifts throughout the day to get you out of those spiral moments of insecurity or instability or fear of money and things of that nature. Visiting your real bank account. So, a lot of people think that this is imagination and then this is reality out here, whereas actually the opposite. This is reality, and this is imagined reality, much like a hologram, much like you playing a video game. Okay, you're playing the video game, and the characters in the game, that's your higher self playing you here in this incarnation. So we have got to get ourselves and our inner children on board with that bank account that is out here, Wells Fargo, Chase, Venmo, PayPal, wherever you keep your money. That's an illusion. That's not actually real. We have been taught that it is because of 3D matrix programming things, right? That is a hologram of our mindset with money. If you can take your inner children, because again, that's where a lot of our money wounds start. Okay, we want things to feel whimsical, like a quest and an adventure. If you can take them to your true internal bank account of infinite wealth, continuously showing them and visiting it and saying, that is what is actually real in here. Everything out here has been created from my mind, or my trauma wounds, or my projections, or things that I have experienced in life, like a accumulation of them. It's not my fault. Okay, we're not going to press judgment against what we're experiencing with challenges, because that's just, how it goes. But I have it within me to shift and rearrange everything. But I need to have an awareness of this is what is happening. So where can I take them internally to help them feel more expansive and more liberated, and that the real bank is in here? Okay, infinite wealth as source. And so when I started doing this with my inner children, saw an immediate change with my finances. And again, that's something I still work through this day. I get triggered just like everybody else, but now I have the awareness of, if that's triggering me out here, That's not even what's real. That's an illusion from trauma and programming. I need to go in here to help them feel abundant in order to experience it out here. So what I like to do is go to different types of banks. Okay, this is going to be some discovery work on your end to figure out what your inner children enjoy. I like to go to a park within my mind and walk around money trees, like an orchard of trees with dollar bills, $100 bills, $1,000 bills growing on them, and tend to it with my inner children. Talk to the trees. We love you so much. Thank you for always being there for us, for taking care of us, for providing us with life force energy, which that is all money is. But thank you for taking care of me. We're going to take care of you. And you can take that exercise out into the 3D, and you go to a park, you go to a botanical gardens, walking around in the trees. It really helps you sync up with the natural cycles of life and feel abundant. I am walking through my actual real bank account right now. Like, look at all of these beautiful leaves that are representative of $100 bills, and they're just all taking care of me and comforting me and giving me fresh oxygen. Like, that's the imagery that we need to walk our inner children through. You can go to an actual bank in your mind. If that's kind of like far-fetched for you right now, you're like a very logical and analytical person. I started out with going to an actual bank in my mind. Okay, I'm going to take all of my inner children. We're going to go together. We're going to go in the vault. We're going to look at all of the money. We're going to touch the money. We're going to hold it in our hands. With your inner children, them holding it is going to be really beneficial because most of us did not grow up with like Venmo and PayPal and Cash App. Like, that's kind of a newer thing. Your inner or your inner children, when you were a child, were going to an actual physical bank with your parents most often, and they're seeing cash, right? So that's going to be more tangible for them. Let's hold it. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Going to an actual physical bank in your mind can be more tangible for your inner children to begin with. You could go to a dragon cave. You know how dragons like to pool up their treasures and have dragon tails here if you watched that as a kid. But take them to the dragon cave system and let them walk around and say, look at all these treasures that we have collected in this lifetime or multitudes of lifetimes. You could go to a crystal castle in the sky where a unicorn is the bank teller. Or you can go on a trip into the ocean because the ocean is full of abundance, okay? And envisioning that there's so much money swirling around in there, coins, dollar bills, crystals, gems, whatever, doubloons, whatever you want to represent as money, but it's immersing yourself in your inner children and what it feels like to be around large sums of money and teaching them this is what's real. When we get ourselves on board with this, then we will see it reflected out here. Every time I have done this experience, I feel an incredible energetic shift. And we're going to talk about how to make it even more tangible here. Okay, so what is money? And I will say before we get into that, you can sit down with your inner children and do a meditation where you're taking them through this experience in your mind, or you can do it while you're doing an active meditation, like while you're washing the dishes, you're doing chores, you're on a drive in your car, like a long drive, you're on a hike, and just imagine what it would be to go experience that etheric bank that is full of money and them holding it in their hands and getting super excited. It doesn't always have to be like you sitting in the silence. That doesn't work for everybody. So you can do active meditations as well. So what is money? Okay, so we have a little formula here. So money is crystalline energy. It is life force energy, okay, much like we have running through us, like our chi, if you will. It is the same thing that this cup is made out of this computer or phone that you were looking into. The only difference is what we have equated with our human mind. Like, money in and of itself is a human construct, much like time. Your awareness is materializing it. You're taking energy that is flowing through you, and then it's going into your bank accounts, or the lack thereof. If we are in instability, insecurity, self-limiting beliefs around money, it's materializing into not having it, into lack. Okay, that's also a solidified material of the lack of abundance. So your beliefs and your thoughts are directing the flow. Either we have it or we do not. But your beliefs and thoughts are determining how it materializes or not. Embodiment exercises like we're doing today, like with taking your kids to the etheric bank, and your emotions amplify the energy. Like I talked before, it's not just about thinking, it's feeling how we're there. What does it feel like to have large sums of money or continuous cash coming in? When we talked about before, how is it going to make me feel safe, secure, happy, vibrant, cheerful, fun? That is what is going to supercharge and accelerate everything. Where am I already experiencing that in life? This is how my money feels as well. Your bank account or your Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or your mattress, you put your money up under there, those are the containers for the crystalline energy. Okay, so you're coming up with it in your mind. We're directing it with our beliefs and thoughts, supercharging it with our emotions, and then it lands wherever our containers are. And the ways that it reaches you are through your career, your services and offerings, your products, rebates in the mail, gifts that people give you, discounts, things you find on the ground, like my ring that I found today. So it's not about earning money. That's the paradigm that most people are living in. And that's why we're hustling and grinding and exchanging time for money, like working in a 9 to 5 or corporate. We are remembering that we already have access. That's why it's really important to do this exercise with your inner children, to show them like it's already in here. It's expressing itself through me to be mirrored back to me. So we're going to give you an example for that. It's giving bank transfers. So when you are thinking, I have to earn this money from somebody or someone or something, we come up with a lot of proving, self-concept, self-worth. I'm having to trade my time. I don't want to be doing this. What really helped me is saying, I already have all of this money within me. Okay, I am money. I am creating it. I am the creator of my reality. I'm source. What I am doing is taking the money from my etheric bank account and simply transferring it to my 3D bank account. That's all. Whatever money I'm asking for, $100, $1,000, $15,000, I do not have to do anything for it. I am simply transferring what I already have. And the way that it's going to be mirrored back to me or expressed to me is clients, rebates, gifts, discounts, however it wants to come. I'm not earning it though. It's coming back to me through various ways, but I'm simply transferring it. Okay. Just like when you make a transfer in your bank, you're not hoping that it transfers. Like you made the transfer. Maybe it takes a couple days to get to you, or 7 to 10 business days, but there's a guarantee because you made the transfer, right? You had the funds to do it. This really helped me bridge the gap of not feeling like I have to earn all of my money. No, it's already mine. Just transferring it to the hologram, transferring it to like the video game from one into another. So this is you. Okay, this is a wizard over here. Most people are under the paradigm where they are receiving money from career clients, gifts, and rebates and discounts. Okay, so it's coming from the 3D to you. However, this is what's actually happening. So we have you, this wizard over here. All of the money that you are experiencing in life is coming from your own mind, is coming from your own imagination, from your own limitations, from your own beliefs and your thoughts. It's then mirrored back to you through people, through those different pathways, through discounts, rebates, and all these things. But it's not one-sided. It is, I am actually generating this from myself. It does not have anything to do with my job or my services or my products. Those are pathways for it to come, reflected back to me, but it's coming from me. This helped me have a radical shift in my finances because I was getting so caught up in what I'm offering isn't good enough because people, are we selling like a high volume? Are we getting clients? I'm having to work all these hours for my job. If you can understand that it's coming from you and it's just being reflected back to you in different ways, that's when you open up the pathways for it to come through in a billion other types. So many different ways. Like the other day, I, again, working through wanting to get more money or attract more money. What do I actually want from that? Oh, you know what? I want to have more community. Like I want to be able to experience fun things with my friends and my family. Okay, how is that going to make me feel? That's going to make me feel loved and supported. When I'm focusing on feeling loved and supported, somebody called me on the phone and offered to buy me lunch. Take me out and buy me lunch. So it's not that person just deciding that. It's I put that thought out into the ethers of this is how I would like to express money back to myself. And then it came through that person, but it came from me. I imagined that money being alchemized and transmuted into being a lunch bought for me. And then it came through that person, but it came from me of having those thoughts of love and community and feeling supported and not getting so hyper focused on the money itself. Okay, the magic school bus. This is one of my favorite activities that I have done and still do with my inner children. So if you have watched this when you were younger or with your kids now, you can go on YouTube and listen to the theme song, like the opening theme song. I love to do that because it gets me in the energy and the vibe of hopping on the magic school bus. And if you haven't seen it before, there's a teacher, her name is Miss Frizzle, and she's teaching at a school and she has all these students and she loads them up to this magical school bus and they go off on all these adventures, okay, in the ethers and the cosmos and different places of the world. It's kind of like, I wouldn't even call it, I was gonna say astral projection. Well, sometimes I do, because sometimes I go into people's bodies to see what's going on in there, but they're like time traveling, doing all these fun things. And so what I do is I say, hey kids, we're gonna hop on the magic school bus together and we're gonna go visit our bank, our real bank, our etheric bank. When we get there, on this bus, there are 18 seats. Well, 19 plus me. Okay, so I'm pretending that I'm the teacher. I'm Miss Frizzle. Hop on the magic school bus, and there is a seat for all of my inner children, ages 1 through 18. Because again, we want to help them work through what they've experienced with money wounds. So we're gonna take a travel adventure to our etheric bank, and I ask them, how much money do y'all want to take from here? How much money are we transferring into our 3D bank account? Okay, so let's say $10,000. How will each one of you invest this money? Like I go, 1-year-old, what do you want to do with it? 2-year-old, what do you want to do with it? 3-year-old, what do you want to do with it? There's enough for everybody. If they come up with something that's super, let's say, expensive, okay, we'll just go get more money from the bank. Okay, we're just going to start with a random number, $10,000. And I will go through and ask each one of them, what do you want to do? And it might be something very tangible that you can do on the 3D, or it might be something real wackadoodle. Okay, especially with the younger kids, like, oh, I want to go eat lunch with pandas in the sky. So it doesn't matter what it is. What we are doing is showing abundance is always available to you. And I care what it is that you want out of life. Like, you are seen, you are validated, you are heard. I love you. This is a safe space to talk about your desires and your imagination, because our reality up here, reality is how we birth things into life. Now, you might be thinking, well, how am I going to do this with them, with this money, if that $10,000 comes through? Go ahead and experience it with them internally. Because the point of this exercise and activity is to showcase to them, this out here is an illusion. What is actually real is in here. We can experience whatever we want at any time, and we always have the finances for it. That is going to help solidify that concept for them. When I did this, I started having money roll in, and I took some of that money and I went and did some of the things on the 3D plane too. Like, we already went and experienced that in here, but I said, oh, you wanted a Care Bear coloring book? I have it right over here next to my desk, and I went and got one for them to make it even more grounded and tangible, like in the 3D. But you can experience whatever you want in here, because a lot of times our inner children are thinking like lack and insecurity. I'll never have the things that I want. It's always tomorrow or years from now, or what if. No, ma'am, or no, sir, or we can experience that whenever we want in here, because now we're learning it. We're not separate from our finances, from our wealth, abundance, and prosperity. It's coming from within us. We are generating that. And once you latch onto that frequency and that concept, it is a million times easier to see money materialized in your actual 3D bank account. The bank transfers, like we talked about. But a lot of this is helping your inner children get on board with you being the higher self, and this being what's real, not getting triggered by what's going on out here, because what's going on out here is only happening because you imagined it into existence from behavioral patterns and triggers and trauma and all this stuff back here. But the point of the matter is, it still came from your mind originally. So we need to repivot into positivity and make money feel fun and joyous and like an adventure and whimsical, and you always have access to it in here. So this is dependent upon where you're at with your channeling abilities, with your inner children. Maybe you don't hear them very clearly. Guess what they would like to do. You don't have to hear a specific answer. What would be fun for me to go do with my 1-year-old? What would be fun for me to go do with my 2-year-olds? That's okay too. And then maybe one day you can hear them even more clearly. Okay, money is in things that are all around you. When we are paying our bills, when we are making investments, going to the grocery store, putting gas in our car, or whatever it might be, we think that money is exiting our reality. And now we are in a place of like lack and insecurity sometimes, where we need to shift that perspective and say, the money didn't go anywhere. I still have the money. I'm a magician. Okay? I turned money into this, but it doesn't mean the money exited. It means I have very expert transformative skills. Something that I like to do in the morning is, with my blanket wrapped around me, kind of like this little capybara here, and then my pillow underneath my head. I love being wrapped in money. I love sleeping with my head on money. I love having $1,000 in this iPhone. Okay? I am sitting inside of my car. Like, how much is your car that you bought or that you were putting car payments towards? It didn't go anywhere. It's still around you. You just transformed it into something else. My dishwasher, my shampoo, a candle that I'm using, my clothes, my treadmill I have in my house. It's still there. So it's not exiting, it's recirculating. For example, let's say that you live in an apartment. Let's say that you have been there for 5 years, and each month your rent is $1,500. Okay, so $1,500 every single month. for 5 years. You have manifested $90,000. That's you. That's your magic. Those are your manifestation skills. This is not something that you are owing somebody or you are paying somebody. It is something that you are recirculating to self. And if you are sitting in your apartment bed, you can look around and say, I am sitting inside of $90,000 right now. Oh my God, how abundant and prosperous am I? Because remember, time is not linear. That apartment or your house, however, making your mortgage payments is a accumulation of money or bank transfers that you have made that you're experiencing in a new way. That is bringing you safety and security and comfort. Okay. Or you can take it even further for all the places you've lived in throughout life. If you really struggle with, I can only manifest small amounts of money, tiny amounts of money, that's not true. We need to see it in a whole new perspective. If you've been in a place for 15 years, $1,500 a month, that is $270,000 that you were sitting in, or however much your car is. How much have you put towards your Wi-Fi over the years? How much have you put towards your gas bill or your water bill? Okay, add all that stuff up. You will start to see, wow, I am an incredible manifester. Look at all these huge chunks and sums of money. I am seeing it as lack and insecurity because I'm looking at like, oh, it's exiting and I'm only doing like small bits at a time. I'm bringing in huge, large sums of money because when you have an awareness of that, it's easier for your brain to bridge over to, I can manifest large sums of money at any time. I've already manifested $90,000. That's a way to kind of shortcut around those beliefs that we're holding of I can only manifest small amounts. So that's an embodiment exercise that helps us feel more like an expansive version of self, of look what I can do. Okay, this is an activity for my girlies who might be overspenders. Or impulse buyers, or if you feel that you're so far away from your manifestations, like it's going to be forever before I can get the things that I want. So this is our add to inventory activity. So if you have a Google account, a Gmail account, you can get Google Sheets for free. It's much like an Excel account, okay? But if you have Gmail, obviously it's free. You don't have to get a whole Microsoft suite. This is an app that you can get on your phone. We want to make it as easy as possible to access this, okay? You don't have to do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer if you want, but my phone, I always have access to, so I like to do it on there. So you're going to create a Google Sheet, much like Excel. The headers that we are going to have up here at the top, inventory. This is the item or the experience that you want to have. The next header is magic coins. This is how much it costs. And then we have add to inventory. This is where you're going to put a direct link. So when we are impulse shopping, impulse buyers, we are getting, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying things, okay, but you know what I'm talking about. We get a lot of dopamine from that. You can get the same dopamine by doing this activity. Okay, because it's you telling yourself like, yes, I'm buying it in the future, but I'm it's a different feeling because instead of saying like, oh, one day or I need to get it right now or else I'm not going to be able to have it, we're putting it in our inventory bag. Okay, so when the finances are rolling through, we're checking them off, okay? Because a lot of times we are worried if we don't buy it now that we're going to forget or we're not going to get it. I have a list prepped and prepared. So what I like to do over here on the left-hand side is I have different headers. Clothes I want to get, vacations I want to go on, makeup, home decor, books, whatever you want, okay? So here, for example, under clothes, I have a Hello Kitty shirt that I want. I found it online while scrolling on TikTok or wherever. How much is it? It's $24.99. Okay. I'm going to take that link I'm going to put it in here into my inventory list. That gives me dopamine. I say, I am going to have this and I need to get prepped and ready for when the time comes. Okay. Because this also helps you with figuring out, was that just an impulse decision? Because I have done this activity and I've put lots of things in and then I come back and I'm like, I didn't really actually want that. It was just cute. Okay. So that keeps us from that impulse shopping sometimes. But what this is doing is putting signals out into the universe of, I am ready when you are. Okay. This money is rolling in and I am going to get these things. I'm going to be prepped and prepared for when this happens. And I will tell you, when I continuously do this, I start checking things off. Like the money starts coming in and I say, oh, got that, oop, got that, and start taking things off and I continuously add things in. It's a great visualization activity. It's kind of like having a vision board, but it's a living, breathing document that you can add into and then you can take out, and you get a lot of dopamine when you're saying, oh my gosh, I got this and I got this and I got this, and I'm going to put these things in for later to make sure I actually want them and it's not just an impulse. And you'd be surprised at how many things are also gifted to you. Like I put in one time that I wanted all these different makeup products. And one of my friends who's a makeup artist gave me like 50 or $60 worth of makeup, like a couple days after adding it into this list, because I'm also open to it coming to me in a multitude of ways. But I'm telling the universe, this is what I want. This is my desire. I know it's going to happen, so I'm going to keep track of it. And this is how to get really excited about your life and kind of refine the type of life that you want to be in, is by building it through this visionary experience. You can do things with your inner children too. Like, what do they want? They want a Care Bear. They want to get fun, funky jewelry. They want to get watercolors. Whatever they're wanting, put it in here. It's a way to pull yourself into those timelines throughout the day. Like, I'm going to go on Pinterest. I'm going to go on TikTok. I'm going to go shop clothes. I'm going to look at vacations and the hotels and the excursions I would be doing. Taking your reality up here and bringing it out to imagined reality, but it all starts here first. So this is a really fun way to give yourself dopamine and create that living, breathing vision board. Okay. Okay, we have a couple more slides here. It's already done. Looking at our manifestations as memories. The only reason that you have those desires, whatever they might be, the money, the manifestations, the experiences, the opportunities, is because there's a version of you out there in the quantum field that has it. So if you can tell your subconscious and your psyche, I already got it, it's already mine, it's going to be easier for you to bring it in. So what I like to do is, in my mind, imagine that I have a wall full of frames. And when I'm stressed out about whatever I'm stressed out about, I say, oh, remember, we already experienced that. We already have that. Okay, we're super excited and blessed and thankful. And I walk over to the wall and I point to the picture of the memories of us doing it. Much like you would take pictures on vacation and then be able to look through them later. I say, oh, look, our bills are already paid for the rest of the year. You see? And I actually visualize that experience as it's already happened. Because again, your subconscious and your psyche do not know the difference. But when we hear that, it's like, okay, well, how do I implement and integrate that? Imagine you have a picture up on the wall that you were taking your inner children to and saying, look, it already happened. The more that you can do that, again, it's going to accelerate your manifestations because it'll collapse timelines and like reality will rearrange itself. So if you are constantly manifesting something in the future, you're manifesting want, not having, lack thereof, and you will continuously not have that thing. You have to get your brain on board with, girl, I already got that. That is already mine. And that is not a lie we're telling ourselves because, again, time's not linear. You have that desire because there's a future version of you that does have it. We'll collapse that by saying, it's mine right now. Remember, every manifestation is just pretending until it materializes, whether it's positive or negative. Who did you share it with? When you had that money come in, whether it is $100, $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, who did you share it with? Who did you tell? Did you tell your best friend? Did you tell your kids? Did you tell your partner? Did you tell your coworkers? It's memory. Oh my God, do you remember when all that money came in and we told XYZ and then we went to that party and we had that celebration? It's visualizing that you're already in the future timeline. And one of the ways that you can do that, embodiment exercises of saying, I went and told all of these different people like how exciting that was. And I'm a master manifester. Maybe I made social media posts and told my community and my collective, look at this picture on the wall of when me and my inner children received all this money. Like, and look at the celebration. There's balloons all around us, glitter cannons going off in the air. Like, it's already happened. That's a way to future project yourself to bring it in now. And lastly, who are you supporting? Because, you know, we're all light workers. We love helping everybody that we can. So we're going to ask ourselves, who did we support with that money? And maybe it's just you. That's fine. Okay. Because you are the world and the world is you. This is not me saying that you are only going to get your manifestation if you're out here giving things to people. That's not what we're saying here. Okay. We're saying we all have very kind and compassionate hearts. And even if it's not us giving money, maybe it's us giving our time, giving our energy, because we're so abundant. Oh my gosh, all my bills are paid for the rest of the year. I don't have anything I'm worried about. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. What am I going to go do now? Oh, you know what? I probably want to do some volunteer projects. I probably want to help out with these charities. I probably want to, help people with their business, like whatever it is for you. Okay. So think about the charities. What is it? Working with animals, working with kids, working with the environment. What am I going to be doing with my time now that I had all of this money come in? Oh my God, look at these pictures on the wall of me going to all of these different volunteer projects and these charity events and how I'm giving back to the community. Okay. Looking at my life review. Okay, like, oh my God, I'm 80 years old. Look at all these amazing things I did in my life with all of this money and all of this abundance. Okay, future projecting ourselves. Okay. And that can be a really fun experience to put in your inventory list too on the Google Sheets of I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So it keeps it in the forefront of your mind. All right, we're going to get to our giveaways here. Super excited for everybody that is here alive. And if you hopped out because you had other things to attend to, I still have everybody's name that was in here earlier. Okay, I'm going to check the comments here really quick. All right. And so this is my way of giving back. So I'm gonna tell you like a little story. So originally I was gonna have this as a paid class, which that's fine. It is totally fine to charge for your services and your offerings. Okay, but that is an energy exchange. But there's lots of different types of energy exchanges. And when I sat with myself, I said, I want everybody to have access to this, no matter what their financial life looks like. Okay, so if I am super uber rich, would I be charging for this, or am I giving it? You know, because it has to do with finances, like specifically. And I said, I want to get as many people involved with this as possible. It doesn't matter if like what financial, income bracket that they're in. Like, this is my way of overspilling from my own riches. I'm so rich. I have all this time. I have all this energy, and this is what I'm choosing to do with it. So that is why I'm doing giveaways as well. to amplify the notion of different energy exchanges and how money can come to you in different ways. Like, even though it's for a product, a service, or a session, it's still money coming to you, right? And I had a completely different outlook on this class and the way that I was running it when I was coming from that mindset. And again, don't have to be giving away everything for free, okay? Because different types of energy exchanges. That was for me and my own personal experience to help shift me with creating this. So our first one here is for the Magic Money Quest. And I want to say too, if you receive one of these and you already have signed up for it, let me know and then we'll give you a different giveaway, okay? So the first one is the Magic Money Quest. That is what would be the next step beyond this class. This is Akashic activations to help you with your relationship with your finances. So I am teaching about money and how to magnetize it into your life, or really how to recognize it's already within you. But I'm teaching it alongside different archetypes. So there's a lot of spiritual girlies out here that want to learn, what does it mean to embody the energy and the magic and the wisdom and the medicine of the mage, the magician, the wizard, the witch, the sorceress, the enchantress, and the alchemist. They all have very different self-concepts, very different vibes, and I thought, how fun would that be to learn about them alongside their perspectives on money. So this is taking life force energy, alchemizing and transmuting it into energy in your bank accounts while working alongside archetypes. So you're learning how to wield different types of magic in your life as well. I just decided to pair it with money because, you know, everybody wants more money. And so I said, how can we do both of these at one time? So this is a self-paced course that you can take. There's 7 activations from me teaching about these and just the overall concept of money. And then I have additional activations from my energy healer friends that are in there as well. I will say that somebody manifested $37,000 in their life after taking this. And so it opened up her energetic pathways. So our first giveaway is going to Amanda. Amanda, you are the first winner. Okay, you can see if Amanda is still in here. Amanda is still in here. Okay, so the P3623, Amanda. And I will be reaching out to you over the next couple of days. And then I will get this to you. And then if you have already signed up for it, then we'll do another. Okay. And you can find this on my website as well, magicwithsage.com. Okay, the next one is our spiritual gift activation series. So this is where, again, it's shamanic Akashic activations, where a lot of people are kind of unclear of what their spiritual gifts are or how to develop them, if they even do know what they are. And so I wanted to pair this, much like money and the magical archetypes, but this one is with magical creatures. So I went in and channeled from the unicorn, dragon, fairy, elf. This is Phoenix, but it's supposed to say Phoenix. Phoenix, mermaid, and tree spirit. So they are actually activating a new gift within you. And then I am teaching how to actually develop it on the 3D plane, whether it's for your own personal use or if you want to implement that with your clients in your spiritual business. And again, you can find this on magicwithsage.com on my website. It's super fun, very whimsical. I'm really about tangibility. Okay, making things very easy to understand and to implement, because esotericism can get real heady and like, okay, what do I do with this? So I give you very specific plans and steps to bring this forth into the 3D with yourself or others. Okay, let's do our second winner. I'm gonna spin my little wheel here. Instead of analyzing. Okay, Tabitha, you have the spiritual gift activation series. And again, I will be reaching out to you over the next couple of days, and then we'll do a switcheroo if we need to. All right. The third one we have is the Psychic Development Workshop. So this is helping you develop your channeling abilities through the art of symbol interpretation, so you can better read your own energy or the energy of others. As if you want to be a practitioner, an energy healer, if you want to be a psychic medium or do timeline shifting with people's inner children, different incarnations. What I have found in my experience is people often have a difficult time having clear messages come through from their higher self or their spirit team. Working with symbols is a way to vastly accelerate your skill set. We process images 60,000 times faster than words. It collapses a lot of having to decipher things. It encodes a lot of storytelling and narratives. That's how our human brain works best. That's why we see that throughout movies and TV shows and just throughout different cultures of it being such a prominent modality of storytelling. That's what I'm teaching, how to build your own symbol dictionary and how to just interpret messages with more ease and clarity for yourself or for your clientele. Again, you can find this on my website, magicwithsage.com. Okay. Okay. Third winner. Okay, is analyzing. Uh, Ariana or Ariana. Ariana, you are the winner of the Psychic Development Workshop. Write your name down here. Okay. And then Amanda, you had the Magic Money Quest. Okay. So we're gonna do our last giveaway here. This is gonna be for an hour session with me, a private session. This is a Akashic record reading, spiritual development session. This is connecting to your higher self and your spirit team and figuring out how to create forward movements in the next chapters of your life. If you want to work on developing your spiritual gifts, your psychic, your channeling abilities, growing your spiritual business, and we have some trauma wounds that are wanting to be illuminated and how to work through behavioral patterns, cycles, just really getting a better picture of where we're headed and how to get there. Again, I'm very big on clear, tangible steps. It's what your higher self is saying to do. Okay, very exactly. This is for mystics, healers, and creatives who are ready to take aligned action. Again, I do have 1 hour sessions and I have 12-week mentorships as well if you're wanting longer term supports. This is, however, going to be for a 1 hour session for the giveaway. Okay. Okay, while that's analyzing, in the comments here, I'm going to put my information for my private sessions, which you can find on my website, magicwithsage.com. Okay, I went ahead and put that in there if anybody is interested. I saw some openings for September. Okay, so for our fourth winner is Anne. Anne, you are the winner of the 1 hour session. ANN, Anne. Okay. Okay, gotcha. So everybody who is a giveaway winner, I will be reaching out to you over the next couple of days to get you all set up. And then in the comments, I would love to ask everybody, what is your biggest takeaway? I love asking that question. It really helps solidify everything that you learned in your psyche, in your subconscious, and in your heart chakra. I mean, it's good feedback for me so I can see how everybody is interpreting the information and integrating it. But what is your biggest takeaway? I'm going to read some of the comments here. I love all the congrats. Give everybody. Everyone's celebrations are your own celebrations. Listen, this is like an additional add-on thing that I want to put here. If you see somebody in your life that has the thing that you want, what I want you to say is twinning. I love that for them and I love that for me. Look at both of us out here thriving because they are you and you are them. They are that mirror reflection of your higher self saying, hey, this could be you too. Okay, this is you. And when you understand that concept, it takes out jealousy and envy in comparison. It's like, oh, I'm seeing me. I did this yesterday where I was thinking about my 2025 Toyota 4Runner that I want to materialize. And I know that's mine because I have that desire because it's mine. Okay, I'm collapsing the timelines. I saw 5 Toyota 4Runners right after having that thought. Like I went on a 5-minute drive and saw all of them in that time period. And on top of that, when I was headed home, there was a blue Toyota 4Runner that was following me. Now I want to go have mine have a paint job. So it's aqua and sparkly. This one wasn't aqua. It was like a different shade of blue. Maybe it was their favorite color. But I was like, oh my God, my twin. They're following me. We're both in our Toyota 4Runners. Like my dreams are always following me. It's very quick how you can accelerate your manifestations if you take out that, oh, that's good for them, but not for me. No, that is me. Okay, yay for them and yay for me. And that means it's coming to me. I already have it. That's a external reflection of something that I have internally. Okay, we're going to read some of these. Working with my inner children more and how important it is. Yes. Is it mandatory that you work with your inner children? No. Just like I talked about before, you don't have to do anything. Okay, these are exercises to help support you in feeling abundant more of the time. It is true that most of our money wounds started in childhood. So logically, it makes sense if we want to accelerate our manifestations, we just go straight to the root and help them with it. And that quantum collapse is a lot of shadow work that you need to do if you just go to the source. So that's why I really focus on inner child healing because it's a way to vastly accelerate working through things. Going back to the roots, always going back to and living in tandem with inner children. Yes. Okay. My biggest takeaway is it doesn't matter what you feel, you still receive what you ask for. Yes. It doesn't matter how I feel because you just cannot micromanage your feelings. That's when you start identifying with them, where feelings and emotions and thoughts are just things that are flowing through you. Most of them aren't even yours, especially if you're an empath or sensitive, neurodivergent. It's things that you're picking up in the collective like spheres and grids and paradigms. So if you can detach from that and say, I don't have to do anything to earn anything. Okay, I am worthy simply because I am, because I exist. I am my greatest manifestation. Like, how incredible is it that I birthed myself into existence? Okay, I can do anything. Okay, I am remembering that all of these things are already in me and they're being expressed through me back to me. There was something about the way you explained the frequency underneath in the case with money, but for me, it brought up other things as well. Yeah, you can do that with anything, not just money. Any manifestation. What feeling and emotion is that going to bring me? Where am I already experiencing that? That's what I'm going to focus on. Imagination with inner children and money is so important and making it magical and fun and choose easy. Yes, that is the video game experience that we are living in. I am choosing easy mode. It does not have to be riddled with challenges. Okay. I'm out of that. Stepping up out of that. Belief and trust is the first step. Knowing every desire already exists within you. All we are doing is transferring it from the place that already exists to the 3D. Yes. Thank you, gorgeous sage. You made the session so easy to understand and apply. Yay! Okay, that makes me so happy to hear. I want everything to be easy. Easy peasy and tangible. Okay, takeaway, focus on what you're going to use the money for. What do you want out of having money? I'm in a huge transition right now, and everyone in my family is focused on the money aspect, and I've been reorienting to money as a tool for life, not as the main thing I want out of life. Yes, and I would call it a resource. instead of a tool. Because that I get what you're saying, and that can also be beneficial. But sometimes with like a tool, that sounds very like object and like using it, right? Where it's a co-collaborative experience of self through a different entity, right? So treating money as you would yourself, like a relationship that you're building, kind of like with your inner children. And so that's why I like to say like it's a resource, but really it's just a reflection of you. Like it's your life force energy being alchemized in something externally back to self. I usually only tend to think I love that for you when it's something I don't necessarily want, but I can still support the other person. Yes. Yeah, because you can just be supportive of people having blessings in their life. I love that for them and I love that for me. I love that they manifested their dream life. Me too. Okay, even if it's something that you don't want. Okay, just the overall concept of blessings and abundance. I love that for them. I love that for me. We can do anything. Yes. You're really good at making it easy. So thanks, Sage. That's really smart. Yay! Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that it was easy to understand. And it's easy to understand for y'all and for everybody that's watching this because you've been doing such self-awareness work, because you've been working on your self-concept. These are things that took me quite a while to integrate and to understand myself, but that's also resonant of a soul that has done a lot of evolving over multitudes of incarnations for you to be able to step out of that matrix paradigm and say, I see this for what it is. Like I see that this is a collective thing that we have all kind of been going through. It's nobody's fault, really. It's just how it happened, but I don't have to subscribe to that. So how amazing it is to be able to be on the other side of that. So I want to give a big congratulations and celebrations, y'all, for being on that path and that level of awareness because it's not easy. Like I have invested so many nights and days just crying my eyes out. Like, why can't I figure this out? Why can't I figure this out? And just researching and implementing and integrating all these things. But I knew in my soul that's a false illusion. That's not me. Okay, that's not for me. And now I get to be here and teaching these classes, just like y'all will be doing in your own way, whether that's in classes, courses, conversations with people, charities, volunteer, it just naturally exudes out of you, but you really need to give yourself a big celebration for understanding what we are talking about today because it's so incredible. Think about, okay, we're not going to get up in that paradigm, but how many people are not at this place, but what a blessing that we can help them. But moving into a paradigm right now, choosing together, everybody in my reality is blessed and super self-aware and focused on magic and whimsy and supporting one another and everybody thriving. We are just all moving on over now. Okay? And you get to be one of the forefront leaders of that. Okay, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you for investing your time and your energy with me today. It has been an absolute blessing. I've been so excited to teach this class. It is a part of my soul mission to help all of the neurodivergent, multidimensional woo-woo baddies with experiencing more abundant blessings in their life and helping you remember I am an abundant blessing. Hey, I'm a blessing on this earth. Okay, that's an affirmation I want y'all to take with you. Thank y'all. I love you so much. I'll be reaching out to the giveaway winners. I'm going to send out the replay to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this co-collaborative experience. I did this because I heard y'all's pings out there in the ether. So thank you for manifesting this into existence. Okay, this came from you. Okay, from your reality, mirrored back to you through me. Okay, like we talked about earlier, I am just you, and you are me. Okay.